Yeah, just
Thank you,
happy,
Simon.
happy Friday to everybody. Anybody got any exciting new deals that you're working on in 2022? We need to get our finance report back. I think those guys are taking a short break.
Oh, yeah, Matt and
Yeah,
where are they?
they're in
Are
Washington.
they? They're in Washington, right?
Yeah, yeah. The time zone, when Hawaii changes and we all have to change the time, it makes it even, more. It's lunchtime in Washington right now, Pacific and Vegas. So middle of the day. It's all good though. Anybody got any good things going on in the real estate investing side?
Any deals on the line? I don't know about you guys, but we're seeing we've seen in the this past year, like the most deals be pushed through. So it's definitely a big spike in deals getting closed in the markets that kind of our main markets like Washington State, Hawaii, and Vegas was wow. Hey, bro, was that comp for the Del Rey property? You want to talk about that real quick?
In terms
It
of
like doubled, didn't it?
Yeah, we sold at 520 and the next door neighbor is now on for 1.2, but it's not sold. So we'll see. But the Vegas market is crazy. It's gone up astronomically.
Yeah, like when that was our last project in Vegas, right? Before this big one. And what did we buy that for? It was like 3 something.
315. Sold it at 520, made pretty decent money. And then now the neighbor, about the same finishes, are now listed at 1.2 renovated.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow.
I don't know if they're going to get 1.2, but they're probably going to, with this market, I think that realistically in the 900s to a mil, it's still double of what it did during COVID.
Yeah, and that's crazy because that neighborhood's, I mean, it's not the nicest neighborhood. I mean, our house got broken into like 3 times during when we went to market. Was it 3 times?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of near the main road, so it was a little bit rough, but it's still central. People like it, so it's a good location, and I think that's what is driving all the pricing right now. And it's that would have been a good Airbnb.
And well, like how sustainable do you think this is, especially for like a market like Vegas, where it's typically like a transitory, market? It's not really a primary market. It's kind of becoming a primary market, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's an NFL team, NBA teams coming into town. You got new casinos, another one's in the works down here. So lots happening in Vegas. And I mean, really, you take a look at the Californians moving, it's largely because of the taxes. You save a huge amount on taxes when you come to Nevada. And then they're building a train that's going to be a mass transit fast type of a thing down to California. So it makes Vegas not too far. And it's still pretty affordable, when you take a look at other parts of the country. I mean, it's gone up a lot, but still yet you can get a really nice property here and some land. And there's a lot of growth. So even if the inflation keeps going up and there's a little bit of a market correction, there's still so many people moving in to support the growth of the conferencing that's down here, and of course the entertainment. And so it'll be interesting to watch. But Vegas, I think number 8, they said, something like that, in terms of one of the most rapidly growing and desirable locations in the country. So interesting to watch. It's the middle of nowhere for sure. It ain't Hawaii. That's for
Well, what about Dallas too? How's the team doing down there? They're starting to grow, get our boots on the ground.
Yeah. No, we're just getting going in Dallas, taking a look at a lot of the multifamily passive income properties down there. Great market for passive income. The challenge is that the real estate taxes in Dallas, they tax you based on the most recent sale, where other places like Nevada, your taxes only go up incrementally. So, so if the taxes were valued at, say, $1 million and you bought it for 2 million, Dallas would take your tax valuation basis to the 2 million mark, where in Vegas, it may just go up to, say, a 1 million. valuation. And so your taxes are a little bit less shocking. So that's definitely impacts cash on cash analysis when you've got that big of a tax. But yeah, Dallas is a good market too. A lot of people still really affordable. Dallas down to Waco and Austin, I think are going to be a really good market to watch for anybody who's trying to build passive income. That's a good location because it's a corridor that's going to get filled in. It's a little bit like LA and San Diego used to be two different markets, but then it just blended into one big one. So kind of similar, I think there should be pretty cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, okay. Why don't we go off and start our leads, needs, and good deeds? Does anybody have anything that they have on the line or anything that they need? Leo and Lisa. Ooh. Oh, nice. Secure private funding on your next property, looking for a studio or 1-1 condo in town, Punchbowl, McCully area, close to the hospitals that we will rent to traveling nurses. Oh, I just talked to somebody that was doing that strategy. So nice. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
That's pretty fascinating. That midterm rentals, like the traveling nurses, that's super fascinating. If they want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
We're doing that in one of our rentals and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we still get, 2 to 3 inquiries a week for our property that's over here on the west side and Eva Beach. So we're thinking we could, and we stay rented up. We're booked now through June. So we're thinking of doing another property, but closer to the main hospitals. So yeah, just looking for something with low
nice.
HOA. Has to have a parking, has to have on-site washer dryer. Those are some of the things that the nurses look for. So we just kind of secured that this week. So just kind of putting feelers out to see what's out there. It'll probably be another month or two before we can actually get the money. We have a family member that's coming into some money that's had asked us our opinion on how they should invest it. And they don't want to own real estate, but they're happy to do private lending because they see, we've been successful doing it. So we're structuring a deal with them to let them just be the private lender on our next deal. So
nice. And is that going to be for long term, or would you plan to refinance the private lender out at some point?
No, it'll be for long term, 30-year.
Okay.
They just want it's an older, they're in retirement and just want a consistent monthly payment every month with low risk. They're not in a position to tolerate a high risk. So.
Gotcha.
What do you offer them for a 30-year investment like that?
We're gonna do 5%, which for them is more like they literally have money sitting in the bank right now earning nothing. Which when I found that out, like I couldn't believe it. But so I think they're going to put some in the stock market and then some with us. So they're happy to get 5% and we're happy to pay it for 30 years. And
well, that's awesome. Well, and maybe hopefully the value goes up, right? Then you can refinance them out perhaps. So that way you can utilize their funding to go buy another property. So that
good point. We hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just when you got somebody with when you got somebody with that kind of money and you can kind of increase the velocity instead of letting it sit there for 30 years, you should be able to get appreciation and then refi. And then interest rates are a little high right now. So then that would probably, hopefully at some point, the interest rates will drop again. And then that might be good. That's kind of cool though. 5%, 30-year, that's a nice long term.
Yeah, because at this point we probably would have to go to commercial in anyways, just because our debt to income with getting more under just our names. We were pushing it with our last property. So this came available and so we're going to take it. So it'd be nice to have our first deal with none of our own money in it. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Nice.
for a condo in, say, Punch Bowl or McCully, most of those are zoned residential. Are there any zoning or HOA rules that don't allow for short-term rentals like that or midterm?
So we will have to look into that, because I know, I've been going to city council meetings and things like that for this new Bill 41. So I'm staying abreast of it. And worst case scenario, we use it as a traditional long-term rental. If we can get in at the right price, it would still not cash flow as well, but still cash flow. So that's kind of our plan. But I think with the nursing, I've looked at some of the exceptions that they're talking about making from the 180 days. I think we would easily qualify for the exceptions. So besides being a traveling nurse, some of them are if it's the same tenant month after month, even if it's not for 6 months, things like that. So I think we would qualify for the exceptions if it ends up going to 180 days. And we actually don't have interest in doing short-term rentals. We really want to be a little more hands-off. And the nursing's worked out really well for us as far as being more lucrative than traditional long-term, but still very hands-off, once we get the tenant in place.
Gotcha, yeah. But you do furnish the units.
That seems like a great niche.
We do furnish,
and
yeah.
do they?
And I should have mentioned, we're looking for something in a small complex, no elevator, like a walk-up, with HOAs less than 400. So that's another requirement.
Gotcha. How do you even go about finding these nurses to rent to? Is there platforms for that?
We list exclusively on Furnished Finders. I know some landlords list on Airbnb, but since we have to do 30 days, I don't want us to accidentally get some kind of fine because Airbnb glitch. Like we've heard of that where there's a glitch and it lets you let people book for less than 30 days. So we don't even want to run that risk. And honestly, we stay booked up just through Furnished Finders, and they don't charge all the fees that Airbnb charges. So it's $99 for a year, and that's it. Because everything's off. Once they're interested, you go off the platform to collect money. So it's just a strict listing site.
Wow.
And then we treat it like our regular. Yeah, we treat it like our regular long-term. So we screen, I use Turbo Tenant. So we background credit check, collect deposits, rents, all through Turbo Tenant.
Yeah, Corey, I had 2 borrowers recently, one in Maryland, one in Ohio, with the same concept. And what they did, though, they went to the local hospitals right in the area, and they just advertised that they didn't have housing, and they filled them up pretty quick.
That's a good idea too. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for sharing. That's an interesting niche. If anybody does have something in town that might fit their criteria, like please reach out, and hopefully we can help you guys in that. I think if you cash flow, because you're traveling nurses, they are usually paid decent, right? I think it's a great niche. Keiko, are you looking at? Do we have inquiries from nurses too for your property in Bellevue?
No. We're doing traveling nurses in one of the units of 5-plex. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably have to call Leo and Lisa to try to double check all of our assumptions and such. But it's a fun model to try, and the property's already cash flowing, so might as well just give it a shot. I'd love to try to see Leo and Lisa's financial analysis to see how you guys run numbers.
It's interesting, Corey.
Yeah, and one of the other.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say one of the other benefits is that we feel that we hopefully won't have to deal with evictions, because these are people that have to maintain a tax home to be able to qualify for the tax-free stipends with traveling. So in this climate, and especially in Hawaii, we have people that have a home to go home to when they're done with our place versus squatting in our rental. So, because we consider, we're house hacking, and we had considered just getting long-term tenants here, and then that was another kind of deciding factor. Is I just don't want to deal with that, honestly. So
That's a smart move. I think that's really true. They're going to come for a job and then maybe get an extension on it, and they're going to pay. So that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Scott, you're gonna say
Corey,
something?
yeah, just quick, because of COVID, one of the people in Maryland, the hospital was actually subsidizing the housing for the nurses because they couldn't get nurses. So they were bringing people in and they were paying for their housing. So it was even really a grand slam for them.
Yep, our person right now, we print her a receipt every month and she takes it to her employer and they reimburse her for it.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. That's a nice niche. Thank you guys for sharing. I see we got Brendan on the line. What's up, Brendan? Are you all settled over there in Dallas? You're muted. You're muted, bro. Brendan, you're muted.
Hey,
And
what's
Brendan's
up, Corey?
saying such cool things.
Yeah, I just decided to key in today because one of my rare days off, but I got my first bird deal under contract, so I'm pretty excited about that. Just
Nice, congrats, man.
thank you. So yeah, I'm just here trying to pick up bits and pieces that I can hopefully take away.
So,
So
Brendan,
what's the deal?
Yeah, you said bird deal. What does that mean? Like you contacted the seller?
No, I actually got this one off of it from a really good friend and realtor. It is a 3-2 in a little in a burgeoning town called Mineral Wells. They're gonna build 500 homes there, and there's a bunch of cool stuff being built up there. So anyway, this property's been on the market for about 4 months, and they dropped the price pretty significantly to where there's about 100,000 in equity on this deal. So hopefully, God willing, the rehab budget comes in around 30,000, maybe 35. It'll be a good bird deal for me.
Oh, bird deal. Okay, good. I
Yeah.
thought you said bird, like one flying bird, like bird
Oh,
dog.
no. I still get my local boy accent.
No, you're good. You're good. I just get your wax, bro. So that's cool. So do you have another job, and this is gonna be a side hustle? Is flipping?
Yeah. So I shoot horses up here. Yeah, I have all this cash saved up from the sale of my house in Hawaii. So just trying to maximize my ROI on it.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. You should get in touch with our team down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Try give me your email address real quick, or put it in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
We'll shoot you an email. But that's awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. You know what? Man,
You know what? I'll send them to him, Brandon. I'll give Kiko your
okay.
your contact.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I had to find the time to key into it because I mean it's all about mindset, right? I went through so much ups and downs trying to get this deal, you know.
Did we lose him?
We lost him at mindset. His mindset wasn't focused in on staying on it.
Oh, we lost Brandon. Okay, hopefully he jumps back on. I thought I was about to get in some juicy good stuff. Well, yeah, Brandon's a great guy. I think I knew him when I started investing here in Hawaii and getting my feet wet a little bit. So, but he just picked up and moved to Dallas. I think it's a neighborhood in Dallas. So it'll be good if we can help him out there.
Yeah, we'll get him connected. That's awesome. Sweet. Anybody in the Arizona market at all? Anybody know anybody in the Arizona market? We really want to expand to the Phoenix, Scottsdale area for multifamily passive income. So if anybody hears of anybody down there, that would be an area we're looking
Okay,
for.
cool. I met a lot of multifamily guys in Arizona at this conference. So
Nice.
definitely can get connected with them.
You should text Ryan and be like, bro, I'm coming over. Except there's
Yeah.
like 3 hours left, right?
Come out. It's till 5 p.m. and then we have a networking at Commonwealth.
Nice. I should have thought about it, but we started the renovations on the 160 unit. We closed on, so it's we got to hire a whole staff. So it's been pretty busy. You should. I know if there was time, we should have hooked up while we were down here.
Yeah.
We got Brendan back. Brendan.
Hey, what's up? Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No worries. Well, so the plan, when is closing for your deal?
It'll be, I think, February 22nd or 23rd.
February 22nd. Okay. You got some time, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the exit strategy on that? Are you gonna buy, fix, and sell, or?
Buy, fix, and rent, and refi.
Nice. Perfect.
But,
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm kind of thinking of looking into short-term rental as well, because of the market there. But I guess I have to read up on that stuff later.
Okay. Nice. Well, I'm gonna send your contact to Kikoa, and Kikoa will link you up with the team out there.
Right on. Thank you.
I'll be down there.
Perfect.
I'll be down there in a couple of weeks, Brendan. So let's go find one local place for eat.
Oh yeah, shoot, man. Yeah. Yeah.
A local
Wow.
place is not
What'd
local,
you-
like not a plate lunch. We're talking local barbecue, bro. That's the best.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right on.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got
bro.
his hopes up, bro. He started getting like zippies or something.
That's what I was
Late
thinking. I
lunch.
miss my mac salad, bro.
You can give up mac salad and take up those barbecue ribs, man. Those things are
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a joint about 5 minutes from my house, man. They got awesome ribs and brisket. Amazing. Right
Good
on.
stuff.
Thanks for the info, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, bro. Good luck with the deal. Let us know if you need anything.
Okay, I will.
I want to know what
Helena
Roger
has a question.
got any deals going on? It's a new year.
Did you say Roderick?
I said Roger.
What's up, Roger?
Yeah, what up, you guys? You. I do. Actually, we went under contract on a triplex in Daytona Beach,
Oh
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Florida?
So I have one older daughter in Newport Richie on the Gulf side, and then my middle daughter is in Deltona. So I've been really targeting that whole corridor. It's between like Tampa and Orlando. So we can fly straight into Orlando for free, from here.
Right.
So we're going there like 3 times this year because my daughter's getting married. And I'm like, oh, I got to get a rental there so I can write off all these trips and like have some stuff going on. So I'm setting up a team outside of Orlando now. If anybody wants to connect about Florida, love to talk to you. There's a ton of opportunity there. There's a bunch of pockets that are legal for Airbnb. And I'm starting to identify all those areas. So let's talk.
Roger.
Oh,
Roderick, you better come visit me. We're in Sarasota here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so plenty of opportunity here.
There
I'll get
is,
the number,
right?
We'll hook up. I always got a lot of Florida here. My whole team's here.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
And,
Yeah, it seems like half the country's moving there.
Yeah, totally. Oh, the New Wealth Advisors Club, Andrew, Joel, those guys, they're actually creating another club in Tampa. And
Cool.
so there's gonna be some action out there. And we might be flying back and forth. Hopefully I can make it next month. I think in February. When are you going in February? Did you say February?
First trip is March.
Oh, March. Okay.
And
Nice.
closing escrow the beginning, like 40 days from now or whatever it is.
So give us,
Okay.
run us the numbers, Roderick. So through triplex in Daytona, what's the purchase price?
Okay, so it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the front of the property and 2 1-bedroom, 1-baths in the back of the property. I found the deal on Facebook, went direct seller. She's actually the agent and the owner. So she wrote my contract. We're under contract at 340. I just got the home inspection back. The place needs some work in the back. And so I'm going to talk to her, get all organized with my rehab budget, my numbers. Hopefully she'll come down a little bit closer to 300. We'll see. Worst case, I'm all in at 400. Current rents are 3,400. But
Oh,
if we
that's pretty high.
in a pocket called Holly Hill, which Airbnb is illegal in Daytona Beach, from what I understand, but Holly Hill is like in the middle of Daytona and they don't care. So we can do it. And I'm going to get my first taste of this short-term rental market.
Yep.
And so we're going to start by rehabbing the back units, and hopefully we can make the numbers look a little better.
Let's
than
hook
we
up for
have.
sure, because we can get you real good rates and make sure the service is done down here for you.
Can you say that again, Scott?
I said, we can get you good rates and really make sure it's serviced down here. We know the markets. So I'll get your number afterwards and we should hook up at least. I can at least give you guidance one way or another.
Oh, okay. Are you referring to the loan or management?
Yeah, the
or-
loan or properties in the future, but the loan for sure. We can definitely help
Whatever
you
you
out.
need, Roderick.
Yeah, anything.
But if how far is Tampa from like Sarasota?
45 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
That's pretty close. Yeah. Nice. Congrats, Roderick, on locking that one up.
I
Yeah, we gotta
finally-
come back and talk about it.
I
Dude,
was
those
waiting for
numbers-
perfect forever, and I'm like, you know what? I know it's not a home run, but it's at least a double. It's gonna be cool.
Dude, that's a home run because you're at the 1% rule, because you're going to be in at 400K. You're at 3,500 as is. You should be able to bump the rents, 150 or so a unit. So you're going to be at 4K a month. So, I mean, you're at the 1%, which is solid. So your cash on cash should be over 10%.
Well, I really want to learn Airbnb. You know, after listening to, was it the JB? I think it was last
Jonathan?
week.
Yup,
Yeah.
JD.
Man, he's doing so good. And then I've been watching some videos, like people are doing really well. So I want to create a system and process for Airbnb and really understand that. I think there's a ton of opportunity there.
There is.
That's
For sure.
awesome. Roderick, I just sent you a message so we can meet up. We're trying to do Florida, open up a Florida office by end of it's this year, end of this year.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
Great. Or are you targeting Orlando or Tampa? Tampa, I think you said.
kind of different. No, not Tampa, but just kind of looking at different areas, but definitely short-term rentals, and it just anything passive income. So we
Try
can.
to stay on the West Coast though, if you could, Kakoa. The East Coast is going to be a little more difficult. The West Coast of Florida is probably better. The central to west.
Yeah. No, we're open to doing research. We haven't started much, so we're gonna put Roderick to work.
Please, let's do it. Scott, why do you say Gulf Side's no good?
No, the Gulf side is good. That's the West Coast.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I'm at. Yeah.
Got it. You like the Gulf Side,
Yeah.
the calm
yeah.
waters.
Much better.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more profitable here. The housing market shot up like crazy on the East Coast already, and it's just a different clientele. So
That's awesome. Let's do it. All right, Roderick, reach out to me.
All right, we got Helena was put a question in there. Are you in Boise, Helena? You need a deal in Arlington? Or for passive income, or Boise, Idaho?
Actually, all three is of myself and two other of my friends' interests. And we are looking at Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth area, and also Idaho, around Boise, McCall, that area, and Florida too. And thanks to Daniel, I have got a home in Indiana last year, and it's doing really well. He did it wholesale with me. He was awesome. he's not
Mhm.
here, but I'm just wanting to say, you know, this is a great venue to really help one another, and I really love being here. So if anyone has anything for, you know, those 3 locations, we would be happy to get connected.
Awesome. Oh, I
Okay.
love hearing that. So like, yeah, I'll find out later. Someone did a deal with someone, you know, and they're both met each other on the call here. It makes it worth it, you know. So it's what it's all about. So I'm so happy that, yeah, Daniel is a great guy. Daniel Kong, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. If anybody has anything or is in the Boise area, Helena is looking. And we're Arlington, where?
Well, I'm planning to go and see the area, but I hear that this is a conservative place, and it is, you know, between Dallas and Fort Worth, so it's a really good location. I don't really
Mhm.
know which side of Arlington, or even as far as Tyler. That is that whole area. It's supposedly tornado hurricane free, so that's good.
Right. Okay.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, if anybody has anything that fits what Helena's looking for, please reach out. And does anybody have anything else? Kiko, you got anything else?
Hey,
Oh,
hey, Corey, can I chime in?
yeah, go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, I will say, you know, I mean, Arlington. I've been past there a lot, and man, it's a really nice area. Depending, definitely well kept, and the industry is really hard. You know, you got the convention center, AT&T Stadium, and all that stuff there. I mean, it's a great real estate market, I believe.
It's a little hard to hear you, Brendan, I think. I don't know if it's just on my side, but did we lose you? You might not have good reception out there. Okay. Well, why don't we I had something to share today, just because it's been coming up more frequently as we're, you know, looking at
Probably
loans out there and different deals out there that are coming through.
Hello?
We're finding that we're having to compete like with some of our competitors. You know, there's different lenders out there that will mitigate their risk more on the leverage side, right? So how much money they lend out against the property's value, and also or some mitigate their risk by raising the amount they charge possibly to the borrower, which is us on the phone, right? So I wanted to kind of put it out there and see your guys' thoughts. We're gonna look at a real live deal here. Let's see if I can even bring, am I able to share, Sheena?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. Can you guys see this? My spreadsheet here?
Not the spreadsheet. We're seeing, oh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to share this little kind of tidbit, because when you're looking for financing to close a loan, right? Let's say it's a fix and flip deal, and perhaps you're looking at the different terms that you're getting from, you know, hard money lenders or private lenders. It's good to kind of run it side by side, right? And I want to kind of run this scenario by you guys, which is it's a real deal. It's here in Hawaii, and basically have two lenders boxes next to each other and see which one would you choose, right? So this property, let's say we're buying it for $645,000. That's the purchase price, right? Everything else is the same fees. the origination point, so the points are going to be different, right? So lender A is going up to 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the renovation budget. They're charging 2 points, right? And Civic, I just said the name. I told myself I wasn't going to tell the name, but hopefully nobody got that. Lender B is charging, or they'll go up to 80% and 100%, 80% of the purchase price and 100% of the renovation budget. And they'll charge 1.5 points, right? So they're a little cheaper on the origination fee, about 0.5 point. When we look at the deal, it's $100,000 is the budget. This is an estimated repair budget. Holding time is the same. We have 8 months here, right? So everything else is the same. These are all like your miscellaneous holding costs, right? So costs for electric, water, sewer, insurance, taxes, all the little stuff that can chip away at a project and someone's bottom line, right? So ARV is $950 on this one. It's a decent sized rehab. And then we got our closing costs on the back end, right? All the realtor commissions, surveys, staging, cleaning, all your costs when you're closing, when you're selling and you're closing on the back end. All right, so now this is where we get into like the good stuff. At the bottom here, you'll see we have to subtract the interest due to the hard money lenders. And if you're also using private money, then we have to account for the cost for capital for the private capital, right? The gap funding. And typically that's a little bit more expensive, right? So after we back out all these expenses, right? And we're always, if you're a house flipper, right? You're usually the last to be paid. So everybody gets a cut, right? Even the stagers, the cleaners, realtors, everybody gets paid, and then we get what's left over. Now, in this scenario, right, we can look at the bottom line. And the two metrics that we always look at is the net profit and our return on investment. But since we stack our capital, where we don't come into a deal typically with our own money, theoretically our return is infinite, right? Because it's not our personal cash. So ROI, you can measure that against, your personal cash, all costs included, meaning hard money and private money. Or, in this case, we just use it for our private money because we want to know how much private funds are we going to have to tie up to do this deal? Because typically private money is the limited resource. So like Brendan said earlier, we want to know that, we have a strong ROI because, we have limited amount of private money. So for every dollar of private money that goes out, hopefully we're bringing a couple, 2 or 3 back, right? So when we look at this, here's the net profit and here's the ROI. Now, just looking at these two metrics, right? Which would you guys choose, or which would it look more enticing to do the deal? And I think it's pretty obvious, right? Now, when you compare these two products, this lender here is cheaper, right? So they're at 7.5% and 1.5 points. Okay, and here we have 8% and we're charging 2 points. So when you line it up side by side, right, and you look at how much money the borrower or you would have to bring in to close out the capital raise on this deal, if you're going to stack hard money and private money, it's $101,000, right, to do this deal. And that includes your down payment, cost to start the construction, closing costs, holding costs. So when you go to our other section here for lender B, you'll see that they basically have to raise twice the amount or put twice the amount in to do the deal, right? So you're basically trading cost for leverage. So which one is best at the end of the day? I would say typically the leverage is best, maybe like 90% of the time, having the higher leverage. Now, if it's astronomically different in the pricing, then that might, make a difference where maybe the lender A is placing out more money for you. So they're giving you more money, but their cost is substantially higher, then it may not be worth it anymore, right? But in expensive markets like Hawaii or Seattle, you want the leverage. The leverage means everything. And when you look at it, at the end of the day, it only saves you a few $1,000s, And so my point is that when you guys are out there, talking to different money sources or lenders, don't always get so caught up in the cost of the money, like the interest and the points. Okay, because I'll tell you one thing, our team now, after they do, like, some of our guys do 100 calls a day, and it's nonstop, so they hear like all types of different investors, and when the common thing that we've found is that the investors who may have done 1 or 2 deals or haven't done any deals at all, they seem to be very rate sensitive to the rate and the points, right? And when you start to talk to some of the more experienced investors, you'll notice that the cost of the capital or the rate and the points and the fees is not necessarily their first, pain point. It's the leverage. It's the leverage and the timing, and also like relationships, right? If they've been in the business for like 5 years already, that they understand that this is a long play, right? This is a long-term gig here, and that having the right relationships means more than one deal, right? So that's what we found. And when you compare it side by side, like we've seen it happen, like come up so many times that I wanted to actually run it side by side and see like, how we compare against some of, the bigger companies. So the lender A is our product. It's what we can offer to an experienced investor who's done, 5 deals or more within the last 3 years or so. And then we can get them these terms, right? And on the other side, I kind of let it slip and kind of said who it was, but it's one of the bigger lenders out there who, many people have used or are using today, right? They're very aggressive. They can go low in their rates. But what I wanted to kind of put out there and show everybody is that when you run it side by side, yes, you want to ask about the rates and the points and the fees because you need to know your costs, but don't get transfixed on the cost of the money, because at the end of the day, the small points that you save is actually, it's actually in the long run, not going to make you much more, right? Because when you compare it side by side, you'll see that the net profit is not that far off from each other. And we're going to dive into a couple of reasons why quickly. But Scott, you got your hand up?
Yeah, just a quick thing. With lender B also, their credit score at the 7.5, and it's 7.5 and 2. If they go to 8.5, then it's 1. So they're 8 and 1.5, but you need a 740 credit score. On lender A, it's at 660.
Yeah. So
credit score.
Well, let me just tell the room what you're talking about. So Scott we have a pulse on the market and what other companies are doing, right? And this company is probably the one that comes closest to beating our product, I feel, right? And they've been around for a while, and they're very, they're very well known. So Scott got the latest on what they're offering. And what did you say? So they're saying they're at
7.5 and 2.
Oh, it's 2 points. So it's actually a little bit more expensive here.
They need an over 740 credit score for that. If they want to only pay 1 point, they go to 8.5.
Okay, so if they only want to pay 1 point, then then the interest rate is 8.5, starting at
Correct.
8.5.
Correct.
Okay, well, let's just run it at this 7.5 and 2 points. I mean, it's even,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Same.
even more so. Yeah. Let me just change it back to 1.5,
Well,
just to
yeah,
be, just to make a
that's fine.
point here.
That's
Because
fine.
like, it's definitely quite clear. So this lender also, they do go up to 90, but it's not, it's a case by case basis, right? Is that right,
Yes,
Scott?
the way it works is they'll go to 90 if the as is price is higher than the purchase price. So if you get a real good deal on a property, so that means it's probably not listed, they'll go to 90% of the purchase. All right.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
play with the numbers that way. All right. Opposed to a straight 90 and 100 on the A
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, so they will do 90, right? And that's huge because you'll see right here. So this is what I care about when I'm running numbers. I care about this whole bottom section here. And it's because it's going to tell me how much kind of insulation I have in this deal, right? So we have about like a net spread of about 70 grand, which is pretty decent. I mean, our goal typically is a 6-figure deal, but in this market environment, it's so competitive. Sometimes you do have to change your criteria just to compete, right? Now, so for us, we can do the 10% down here, right? We'll do 90% of the purchase price, and then 100% of the renovation budget. So what makes our product unique is that we're very aggressive in the leverage. So, but it's not just about the leverage, it's about how the leverage is allocated in the deal. And what I mean by that is lender B, they go up to a maximum 75% loan to after repair value, right? So they can lend up to 75% of this number right here. And so can we. That's our max as well. So we have the same max leverage, right? But just because you have the same max leverages doesn't mean the loan product is the same. And here's why. Because we allocate majority of that leverage up front to you at closing, right? When we go to 90%, that's us putting out more money up front before the deal's done. Okay, so we'll go up to 90. We can also the other thing is we can pay the renovation in advance, up to 20 to 25% of the renovation budget in advance. So that's why this number here is 0, right? Construction in arrears. So that means that I don't have to go out and raise a quarter of my renovation budget or have that handy to put into the deal, right? So that's more money we're putting out for the borrower. And then if we're paying in advance in advance on the renovation budget, we can wrap the interest payments. We'll wrap 9 out of the 12 months worth of interest payments. So we're going to add this $40,000, which is 9 months worth of interest payments at 8% interest only, right, on the total loan amount. So that saves you another 40,000 or so from having to come out of pocket. Now you're still paying interest for that, right? But the difference is it's already financed in the loan. So you don't have to go out and raise private capital just to cover the mortgage payments, right? You will have to put in like 3 months worth of interest payments. And if we're paying the construction budget in arrears, meaning that the borrower has to put the money up first, then we can wrap all 12 months of interest into the loan, right? Which means less money out of pocket for the borrower. So anyways, and then when we go to lender B, right, they'll basically have to put down twice as much, because if they only go to 80% and they'll go to 90 on a case-by-case basis, but majority of the time they'll only go to 80%. That means that the borrower has to put up 20% down, right? So again, it's not about the max leverages because we have the same max leverages, 75% LTARV, right? Loan to after repair value. But when you break it out to how that leverage is spread throughout the deal, you'll notice that it's not the same, right? Lender B, the borrower for lender B has to bring in twice the amount of money, which is why their ROI is about half the amount of the borrower for us that took a loan product from us, right? So if all you saw on this page were these two metrics here, net profit and ROI, I think it'd be pretty clear which one is the best choice, right? But on paper, on like a rate sheet, right? And you compare the two products side by side, you don't really get the value in when it's on paper on which one's best, right? Until you see how the leverage affects the deal. So what I'm saying is not necessarily about the interest rate and the points. Very rarely is it about the interest rate and the points. And I'm talking specifically about bridge loans or short-term loans, right? So fix and flip, ground up construction, right? When it comes to like a 30-year amortized loan, since that loan's going to be spread over 30 years, now every basis point matters, right? Because that can affect your cost dramatically when it's just changed a little bit. But when you're in a short-term bridge loan like this, fix and flip, ground up construction, typically it's not that big of a difference when it comes to the rate and the points. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that? I just wanted to show on paper or on the spreadsheet running numbers, the difference between having a higher leverage product or a lower, cost of capital product. So Scott, you had a question?
Yeah, just two more things. Like if you pay off the loan, guys, after 6 months, you're going to get that back. It's going to come off the payoff. So whatever we put in there, you're going to receive half of it back, even though we built the payments into the loan. Also, the other company, they do a BPO right now. We're going to have that desktop appraisal in place within a month, 6 weeks latest.
Yep.
So that's going to be an equal. I don't know what you put in boxes. So that means our turn time, even though we are very, very quick in Oahu, we're going to be able to do 4 days on that going forward.
Yeah, so thanks, Scott, too, because we're constantly, like every quarter, right? We do like a SWOT analysis. I take some time, take the whole weekend to kind of just hunker down and do a SWOT analysis on our company. And, that SWOT analysis is what's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? It's a very simple exercise, but very powerful. Like we've pivoted and changed direction dramatically because of, going through doing SWOT analysis, and it's been for the better. But every time when I'm thinking about it's good to step back and look at, what you're doing to see if you're heading down the right path, right? So when I do these exercises, I always come away with a good idea or one golden nugget, and it helps reflect. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, are we confident in what we have to offer the marketplace, right? And when we're looking at it, absolutely. I'm so confident, and we're so fortunate, to be honest, because our capital partners who back us with, tens of millions of dollars worth of money that they trust our opinions, on these deals to place that money and take care of it. They took the time to sit down with us, since we are investors too, right? We understand the other side. They took the time to ask us, what would we want as investors in a loan product, in this type of loan product, right? And I'm the perfect guy to ask for that, because I've been through a lot, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I know what works. I hit some home runs. And to me, it's like, okay, well, if you can give me as much as you can down, like at closing, that helps me out a lot, because the less I have to bring in to close the deal, the better, right? And so if you can go up to 90, like the max that everyone else is doing, then that's a win for me. Like, yes, 90%, yes. And if you can wrap my interest payments into the loan, that'll be great too, right? Because then I don't have to come out of pocket or go get some more money just to cover the debt. So, and then the last thing was, and if I don't have to pay in arrears, and I can pay in advance, I get paid in advance to start my construction. That's what that's what we would want, those three, right? And they, credit to them, they listened, not only just wanted to hear us, they genuinely wanted to listen to what people are looking for out there, investors who are looking for out there in a finance product for these type of deals, and we put it together, so there was some speed bumps, in the road trying to figure it out when we were first launching the product, but now we're about, I don't even think we're a year in yet, but now we have it figured out and it's running smooth. And there's always hiccups here and there when you're closing any deal, and sometimes we just have to attack it from all angles. But what I realized is I was so confident now in the product that we have to offer, but we still had a hard time communicating that message to other investors and borrowers, right? Because most of them they want to know, all right, what's your max LTV? What's the lowest interest and points that I can get from you, right? And now that I'm on the other side, I realize how it's not easy to communicate the benefits that that we crafted kind of customly with our capital partners. To see the benefits, you actually have to run your numbers and compare it side by side, right? So that's what I wanted to share to you guys today, because I knew that, I care more about the leverage than the price here in Hawaii, but I didn't know why. Like, why did I feel like I don't really care about, the interest or the points? I care about how much, money I'm going to have to come in to do this deal. And maybe it's because I'm in Hawaii, where it's a high dollar market. And, if you have $1 million, like you can spend that real quick here. Right. So
Corey, when you're done, go ahead. I'm just saying the number one thing you're forgetting about and is all about relationships. And we have boots on the ground in Hawaii. I couldn't even get a rep on the phone for an hour and a half today just to get some answers, from this other company, so do know also, all you guys out there are going to help design this product, continue to. If you feel like, I know the BPOs were important, they couldn't wait for appraisals, we put that on there, and our bond is coming up mid-February, and that's on the top of the list with Wall Street when we do the bond. So that is to get the appraisal desktop. We've been beta testing it with our capital partner, and it's working well. So if there's any ideas that you feel are going to make your job easier, it makes our job easier. We turn down a lot of deals if it doesn't make sense. We're not in the business to do loans. It's all about relationships. That's why I think everyone's on this call. Yeah. So let us know what your feelings are. Let us know what's out there. The more educated you are, the more educated we are.
Exactly. That's the last point I want to make was like, I think we should all be kind of, especially at the start of the new year, let's take a step back again and look at our operation, our company, our mission. Like, is what we're doing really driving us to our goals and fulfilling our mission that, we're on? And also to please, like, let us know if you have anything, especially relating to the financing side, that you would recommend, because obviously our capital providers and our partners they want to hear us out. They want to keep evolving. We want to keep evolving, and we want to keep adapting to the market and being able to, get the best loan products out there for our investors, which is many of you on the call. So anyways, hopefully that was an exercise that put out some value and kind of shows that the importance. You got to look at both. You do have to look at the cost, but you have to look at how much leverage you're getting as well, and how is that leverage being allocated, right? Because a lender may say they can go up to 75% of the ARV, so 75% LTV, but it doesn't mean they max it out all the time. We max it out all the time. Sometimes we have to drop it, be like, oh, sorry, we can't, the deal's too tight, like the numbers are just not crunching. So we gotta, instead of giving you 90, we gotta give you like 88.7%. Is that okay on the front end? And usually it's fine, right? So anyways, hopefully that all made sense. And if it didn't, please feel free to, put a question in or reach out to me, because I want people to understand this understand that the finance products, they're not all created equally, even though they might look very much similar on paper.
Hey, so Corey, if somebody, that was great information. If somebody had some, more questions and wanted more of a tutorial, can they call you or Scott and then kind of help them take a look at some of that analysis? There's a lot of information and pretty fast.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of blazed through that one quickly. Maybe I will do like a video or something. And maybe
really
we'll put it out in the group or something, because I think a lot of people should understand. I hope everyone understands, because sometimes they'll kill a deal, because they're trying to squeeze on the cost of capital when I feel it's not necessary, and it is something important, because people can lose a deal or they can misjudge and choose the wrong finance product. So I'll see if I can squeeze some time. Maybe I'll put together a little tutorial and send it out to everybody.
Yeah, and what may be good in that video, Corey, is to add a few from our experience, some gotchas, the things to watch out for, because sometimes there's hidden fees, sometimes there's ways they structure how much you got to do in the initial fronting of construction and stuff like that. Is anybody kind of new to the whole hard money space? It can be pretty daunting when you get some of those quotes.
Yeah, and I understand why. Like, I understand that the majority of the people who kind of gets fixated on the cost, and they don't factor in some of the other tangible items or intangible things to look at when you're shopping lenders, is that, like Scott said, relationship is important. It's like, okay, well, relationship, what, like, does the guy answer my call and stuff? Like, yeah, okay, he answers my call, he gets it done. But it's not just that, it's like helping think it through, right? Because sometimes we'll see deals, our clients will bring deals in, and we're trying to get our head around it, and say, you know what, for our product, maybe you should go get permits first. If you can buy cash and go get then come back. And if it makes sense for us to come in and refinance you out with a bridge loan, we can do that, because sometimes it's not in the client's best interest to do the loan with us right now, right? So there's many that.
I got two appraisals today, Corey, I'm sorry, that I'm sending over to our appraiser to look at, because they want to know if it's a good deal that they got in, what the comps are in the area. So, I mean, we'll go then and beyond, and if it's not a good deal, we'll turn it away.
We just had a situation come up where one of our clients, I've known him for years. Like, he develops out in Makaha a lot, and his deal was very I guess it's a CPR deal, and there's 4 houses on the parcel, right? So when the appraisal came in, it came in right at the target we thought it was going to come in at 1.9 with 4 houses. These are small houses in Makaha. And but when we sent it in for underwriting, the underwriters basically kicked it back out because they didn't agree on the valuation. They thought it was like a 1.5 ARV, right? And so I was like, how can it be that far off? Like, I know this person is very experienced, and he knows his numbers in Makaha. And, I had 10 houses there. I still have 4 more in Makaha. I know that area too. And so when we dove into it, right, me, Scott, Tyler dove into it and tried to pick apart the appraisal. What it came down to was that the internal review and underwriting within our capital partners, they were pulling comparables as if they're going to be selling the lot as a whole with 4 houses on it, right? So when the exit strategy for our client is to CPR the property, right? Divide the property into four houses and then sell them for profit, right? So when you CPR a property, the value goes up exponentially almost immediately as soon as you do that, right? So good thing we caught it, and so we could kind of contest it, and it just got approved today. So it was great news this morning, because it's a big deal. So just little things like that, is a factor to consider. You want to make sure that your lender is on your team, You know, it's just another team player on the field. So, but if anybody has any other questions about that or took some value away and would like me to put together like something a little bit more formal, then please let me know. Because if it was like total waste of time, let me know that too. I can take those words. It'll kind of hurt a little, it'll sting a little, but I can take those words. Yeah, but other than that, guys, I mean, shoot, we're already past 11, almost 11:15 already. So thank you guys again for always coming on a Friday. I know a lot of us are out in the conference, but either way, I hope next week is very productive and we all are pushing forward to our goals. Kiko, you got anything else for the crew?
No, that's great. Happy Friday, everybody. And we should definitely all sync when somebody's traveling to parts where we're at, either Florida or Vegas. Like, let us know in advance. I'd love to. I wish I knew some of the Hawaii people were here. We could have gotten together. But
yeah, if anyone's in Florida, I mean, this might be a big year for us going to Florida, because I think we have two conferences in Miami. The New Wealth in February next month is in Tampa. So.
And I'm here. You have to come visit me. I don't leave.
I know.
Well, Corey doesn't
I gotta
want
go see the Rosenhaus house.
have to be on until 2 in. I love the time change. Thanks for the time change, by the way. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for making those calls, Scotty.
All right. I have to go make them now. Everyone have a great day. And
have a
great
one.
weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, bye-bye
Happy
now.
Aloha Friday, everybody. Take care.